Yes. All right. So you're all ready there? Yes, I can see Neha Jain has a brilliant artistic wallpaper. All right. So fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Now hear me. All right. So let me tell you a little about what today's. Hey Pratya, come in. So what's
Hi.
today's grand webinar about? First of all, welcome in a very, very pleasant evening. Now, this workshop is all about helping you create better drawings. Okay, helping you all about creating better drawings. So I've been seeing the works that you've been sharing, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Loving the spirit. So many of you are saying so consistent toward the process drawing every day. It is not easy to draw every day to stay consistent. I mean, we are artists and yet we struggle to maintain the consistency. So amazing. Every one of you who've been drawing, who've been staying so consistent, you really have my awe and admiration. And Kasansari would agree. And secondly, so what's this session about? This session I'll be sharing with you some special key insights and tips that will help you make much more clearer illustrations. I promise you by the end of the session, you are going to learn so much. It's what I've learned through my years of understanding drawing and teaching over thousands of students that I am going to be sharing in just this few, in this workshop here. And these are going to be some very simple tips, some suggestions, and I am going to be sharing it with respect to the drawings that you already uploaded on Padlet. Okay, so we'll go and yes.
And
Let's.
also, I want this workshop to be an opportunity for all of you to talk about what has been your experience so far. Is there something we can do to help it get better? What are the challenges you face? This is right after Niranjan shares all the tips and all. We are going to get into an open forum. I want all of you to tell us, talk to us about your experience, because we are here to help. I mean, if you are not getting prompts, if you are not able to understand prompts, for example, some of you have told me that when you look at others' drawings, you feel like, I am doing a very literal one, but others are doing such good comprehension. For example, for compass, you might be thinking the first thing that comes to your mind is a normal compass, but others are doing things like travel as a compass, moral compass, and all that. First of all, there is no right or wrong in this. There's no good idea, bad idea. Draw whatever you feel like. You'll get there. Not everybody will have a creative idea every day, and not everyone will have a good implementation every day.
No problem, Shri. No problem, Shri. Thank you. Glad to see you at Hinder, nevertheless.
So what I want you to do, it's going to be 31 days of inking, as I'm gay, and 31 days of inking is there. You don't really have to go over the board for every entry. For example, let me show you. Yesterday I posted on the group, right? How we are giving out prompts. Every prompt, there's a prize, there's a winner for every prompt. Some of you have won like in the category of creative. Some of you have won in the category of the most best implemented artwork. Some of you have won in both of them. That's because it's even for us, even if you see Niranjan's, all of these drawings, 16 drawings so far, not all of them are very, very highly aspirational ones or very elaborate ones. Some of them are simple as well. It's important to keep an important balance. So if for one day, particularly if you don't over push yourself, for example, people like Tanvi are having a huge problem trying to keep up with the standards they're setting, don't feel like that way. Some days you can draw something very simple. So let's start with what I've been wanting to share with you for a very long time. And I'm glad that we are doing it now. I want to talk about the people who have done exceptionally good work. So these ones we've already discovered. With crystals, we had Shreya and Ritika getting it. For suit, we had Aditi Tambi. And Aditi, you have been doing such exceptional drawings. It's very good. Some of them I know are being done in a hurry. Some of them are being given ease, but all the ideas are really excellent. You are one of the people I'm really looking forward to. Nayanita, again, crazy ideas. There have been at least 4 or 5 nominations for you for all the creative art of the day. Nandini, again, I love this interpretation of a vessel, how being carried. A lot of people have done this bottle one, but I liked how you had contoured this figure against. Studio Ghibli, of course. Janvi is one of the people in the group who's adding a lot of color into the group. Today also she did a special watercolor. Yesterday also she did some watercolors. I'm loving it that you're mixing inking and watercolor together. Tanvi, of course, is the heart of the group and she has been interacting with all of you. Is Tanvi here today? Tanvi, are you there? No, I think Tanvi had her French class. Yesterday in the group also, it was all about French and all. She has a class. So beautiful interpretation of the knot. As you can see, we are choosing every day 2 people. One is for the one who's working for all the details. So Deepti, again, beautiful job. This rope was done so well. Loved it. Deepak, again, Deepak has been doing a superhero theme and every day he's bringing up with a new superhero.
Out of the world.
Very out of the world, right? Dipanita, again, beautiful.
Out of the world.
And look at them. That is why I love spending time on the Padlet, because so much ideas you can get out of just looking at this. Dharya, again, beautiful spirits. Fan, for fan, we have Sudipti again. Poruma, I have to tell you, your entries you put out in the last moment yesterday, and we were so confused because all of them are so beautiful. Some of you people who have been constantly who have been, a part of every nomination is, of course, Daniela is there with her beautiful drawings and her beautiful interpretations. There's Pratya, Shireen, Poroma. You people are doing crazy work with all the drawings that you've done. Pratya, look at this, so creative. None of them did a watch like this. Even Deepa, you have been doing really good work. Tanvi, see? Pressure. Poonam, again, I love this idea of a pick, guitar pick. Nobody had done. Bhagyashri, very nice artwork. Ritika again. Ritika, my God. Ritika looks like a professional. Her work is exceptional. Is she part of it? Okay, Ritika is here. Ritika, each one of your artworks I had shortlisted for everything. Beautiful work you're doing. You need to take this forward, make reels, put it on your Instagram. Get it done. Beautiful work. Kanika again, beautiful interpretation of Sar. Neha is here. I love this stuck version of yours. Danny, of course. Danny's ideas are all out of the box. You're doing so good with all your prompts. Pratya has been winning a lot of them. So Deepti, again, this tick I really liked. It has both the ticks.
Yes, it has both the ticks, one and the other tick.
And implemented also well. This, I love this take, Beetlejuice and the story. Danny has also been giving very beautiful captions. Helmet, Spartan helmet, and this one. And for compass, again, Aditi, your compass was beautiful, and Tanvi's moral compass. So as you can see, almost all of you have been consistent with this, have been winning one thing or the other. That's because every day there is going to be one day you're going to do a better version and all, and I'm really proud of all of you. Some of you have even, I'll be very honest, better than Niranjan's work. Niranjan is doing very creative, very literal versions. You people are doing extreme good versions. My only complaint is that some of you are posting it on the WhatsApp group and not on the Padlet. See, why I'm asking you to post on the Padlet is because after this, after October, you will not want to come to WhatsApp and get back all these drawings, but it can always be with you on the Padlet. And you don't even have to do a lot of hard work for the Padlet. You can just paste the Instagram link. So you see how Pratya has just pasted the Instagram link and the picture will be loaded. So your ideal steps should be: one, draw the drawing, put it on Instagram, copy the link, put it on Padlet. And if there's a special entry you want to show, of course, share it on WhatsApp. But this is your forum. This is where you need to be active on. Like and be kind to others here. For example, Poroma, look at this beautiful collage of Poroma she's done of the first 15 drawings. She deserves a shout out, right? Show your love to her here. Drop in likes, drop in
a heart. Guys, drop in a heart for Parama. You can see the smiley there. Just pop. Heart, heart, heart. Let's go. Let's go.
Is my screen visible, Niranjan?
Yes, yes. Your screen is visible.
And the second thing is
Fantastic.
about the hashtags. Please be sure that you are using Soulflow Inktober and not Inktober Soulflow, because that's how we will not be able to catch you. I'll drop in also very soon. Use those hashtags, tag us in every post. We don't think it's spamming. We think it's our biggest compliment that we are able to see all these beautiful artworks. It keeps us motivated and be more active here. This is like an exhibition. If today nowadays, since because COVID is happening, all these exhibitions were virtually, this is how an exhibition would be, right? So choose your favorite drawings, read the captions. Some of the people have been adding even captions, and I'm loving the feel and spirit.
Yes. The interpretation, the idea of the charts.
Whenever I have a mental block or I'm not able to draw, I just come here. Just one interpretation. So many people are doing different versions of it. It's beautiful. Some of you have made these beautiful reels also. And I know for a lot of people, this is the first time they are so actively posting on social media. So it's again a big, big feat. And I congratulate all of you. And I hope you don't let go of this. We are 17 days into this. Only almost half a month is left. Let's be consistent. Okay.
Halfway there. See, it's about seeing it as a half empty glass, or are you a half glass full or half empty person? You can think, oh my God, so many ways getting. Oh, you can be like, oh my God, I've been through half of this. Now what more can I do? So are you a half glass, half empty, or a half full person? It's up to you.
Now I'm giving this mic over to Niranjan, because you all are great. You know, I can't help you more with that. You're being kind to yourself. You're being posting regularly. You are doing excellent job. I love the conversations in the group. Yesterday we were teaching Daniela how to watch Hindi movies and what India is about. I love this, all part of it. Now let's focus on how to become better artists technically.
Let's go. So are you ready? Okay. So some of you here have in fact learned from me before. We have Ritika here, who in fact doesn't miss a single session. Super happy. Hey, why don't you turn on your video? It's always a pleasure to see you. And we have Bhagyasri here, Pratya here. Let's see how many of you. Deepak is here and how Deepak isn't here. You know, a lot of you have in fact learned, but there are some of you who have not yet learned, but are in fact doing a really good job. Pranav, I've been seeing Pranav sharing consistently. Hey man, very good work. Love it. And I love the DP that you shared as well, that you have. It's brilliant. So, see, so a lot of you are in fact at different stages here. A lot of you are at different stages here. To those who are just starting now, this will be like, you know, like a whole lot of new insights and tips that you can apply immediately. The best way that you can make the most out of this is have a notebook by your side. You can take down little notes, as I say. You can watch out for examples, like understand the point behind what I'm trying. Ask questions. Okay, ask questions. Unmute yourself, ask questions, and let's do it. All right, so are you ready? Comment in yes if you are ready. And to those of you who have already learned from me, it's going to be a very good revision. Trust me, it's going to be a very good revision. And you know me, every time, even if it's the same topic, I bring something to it. Otherwise, I would feel bored. Okay, so let's start. I have my drawing screen ready. See, what I'm about to share with you are certain.
1 second, Niranjan. Before we start, I want to know how many are people who have continued each day so far, not even missed one day. Comment in the group. Me. Say me if you have not missed even one day. Oh my God. Nandini, yes, I know. I've been following your progress. Deepa, Poonam, yes, you people have not even missed one day. Ritika also have not missed one day. Shireen, did you miss any day? I have seen you also pretty
regular. Has not. Pranav hasn't. I know for a fact Pranav hasn't. Yes,
Pranav also hasn't.
Missed too. Oh. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's still a very good ratio. It's still a very good ratio. I mean, you missed two, up to 15 prompts haven't completed two. That's okay. Even I haven't completed everything. Okay, when I haven't completed everything. Sometimes I go a little overboard, I go a little complex, and I haven't completed everything.
And how many people of you have cheated a little bit, like not done on one day and posted on 2 days, at second day done? Be honest, be honest. We all make little cheatings in there, here and there. 14 done, but I'm planning to catch up. Very
This
good.
group
Just
is
the
so
fact
inspiring that I want to complete all the drawings that I have left on hold. Everything. Superb.
I've missed certain days. Lovely.
Superb. Lovely.
All right, guys. Then.
All right. So see, talking about, so can you all see I've spotlighted, is this that my drawing screen is on spotlight, right? Yes. So you can all see this here. Yes. All right. So let's get into the heart of the matter here. So what I'm about to share with you are a few basic inking principles that you can apply instantly to better your drawings. I call them the 5 basic principles. The 5 basic principles of inking. Okay. Five basics. See, when you talk about the 5 basics, the very first basic that we are talking about is that a lot of the time what happens is, because we are so used to drawing with these pencils here, we tend to shade like this, right? We always tend to shade like this. We are used to shading like this. Let's say you have a, like suggest me a shape here. Okay, I will start with the sphere here. Okay, since we are so used to this kind of a shading approach, what happens is that we tend to shade like this. We tend to shade it like this. And then we do the same with pens. See, when let's say I have a spherical this here, I might tend to just shade it like this. And I can see that a lot of you would have tried like this, like a lot of you, or perhaps you might just try like this because you would have figured out that this doesn't work. Okay, this is, you might have done it this way. Comment in I if you have done it this way. Now, what I suggest instead is, when you are trying any drawing, think of it in terms of these individual strokes that you're trying to draw, individual strokes that you're trying to put. As in, see, the same thing that I have drawn this way, I can draw it like this. See, individual strokes. See this? The advantage of this is that I have better control over the pen. I have, number one, when I place as individual strokes, no matter what I draw, I can control it better. You would all have seen this very world famous drawing, the Great Wave, right? The Hokusai waves. See, it's in a previous that's one of the first things I did. In fact, it is a part of one of my Inktober drawings here. It was, I think I had done the Hokusai waves on day 3 vessel. So if you notice this, it's all about individual strokes. See, let me try and recreate this same thing here. Okay. So what I am doing is, notice these individual things. What happens is, we tend to be so rushed and we tend to draw it like this. Instead, I want you all to take each drawing, like stroke by stroke as you draw. One. See this? Each stroke, you're giving it individual attention. Each stroke, you're placing it like this. This could be true for an individual shape like this. This could be true for whether you're drawing trees. See? at any stage, see, you're trying some leaves here. At any one stage, you're just paying attention to getting this. This could be true for when you're trying to draw a three-dimensional shape. Let's say a bowl. Notice this, 1, 2. At one time, there is only one single stroke that you're taking upon. And in addition, we make these strokes go according to a certain form. If it is a cylindrical form, you make sure that the strokes that you're placing, it follows a cylindrical pattern. Okay, it follows a cylindrical pattern. Let me show you some examples here right now. A few basic geometric shapes that you would have all drawn. Few basic geometric shapes that you would have all drawn are, let's say the first one, a square block. I will show you another second one here. This could be a sphere, okay, like almost a sphere. Or you could be drawing a, what you say, a cylinder. Okay. These are three most basic shapes that you can work with. Now, what I meant is notice, see, just imagine yourself sliding your hands over these forms, or just imagine yourself tying a thread around this. How would you draw around this? See, notice. Along this, I would slide my pens like this. Yes or no? Comment in yes if I'm doing it right. If you can make sense of what I'm doing here. See the individual strokes I place. I need to have it controlled and I need to have it go according to the form. Or for this one, I can take it. See, here's the key. Here's the key inside. Notice how for this the form is. Notice the shape for this. Notice this. Notice the edges here. See, notice the edges here. I highlighted it in red. See this? So the application of this principle would mean that if I drew along this one, I would draw along this. See? It's like this. Imagine you're tying a thread around this. So imagine yourself tying a thread around this. How would it go? See this? What I'm telling you is this form that is here, you have to think of how it goes and do it this way and not do it this way. You see, for a sphere, I could consider its curvature and I could draw it like this. See this? For a cylinder, see this? If you're drawing a flat surface, it would go straight. Where do I apply this? So I have this. If any one of you recognize it, your work, comment in I. You know what? You would have noticed, some of you, it's your work already. See, here I have this work from Pranav. So let me show you how this can be refined. First, the outline, of course. The outline, there isn't anything that I need to do. The outline. As for this shape here, instead of the strokes that are, like put up randomly, you can consider how the form would go. How would the form go for this helmet? See, isn't it curvical? See this? Doesn't it look three-dimensional, more three-dimensional now? Or if I were drawing vertical set of strokes, I could draw it like this. See, what I'm considering is how the form is going, how the shape flows according to this. See, as for this, like this, I just need to be able to read how the shape is and then make my strokes accordingly. As for this one, since it is a flat surface, how is the surface for this? It's a rather flat surface. See, as for this, it would go straight. What I'm telling you is have a control, right? Have a control and flow accordingly. Don't, when you are drawing, do not lay down your strokes randomly, but rather understand how the shape goes and respond accordingly. You could draw it lengthwise, you could draw it widthwise. In this one, in the same helmet, I'm drawing lengthwise. Think of them as individual strokes that you're placing. You can think of them widthwise, or you could draw them diagonally. Danny asks, how do you know when to make the strokes more or less spaced or crossover? Very good question, Danny. It's about the intensity, it's about the depth that you want to bring into the drawing. See, I will show you a few palettes here, okay? So it's called a tone palette. In drawing, in inking, this is called a tone palette. I have three palettes here. It has the same space. In inking, we need to understand that just as with pencil, we add in these things and this is how we make it darker. In inking, it's all about drawing it as individual strokes. It's all about drawing them as individual strokes. All right. So, the same thing, how I would be representing them as I would be representing them stroke wise. Like this, I would be, these strokes could be lengthwise. I could show them like this. These strokes could be like this. Even this is also valid, or they could be like this, whatever. You know, like you can shape it in whatever manner, but it comes as individual strokes. In this one, I'm drawing some basic few strokes here. 1, 2. And 3. See this? This is light, this is medium, and this is dark. How do I know what to put where? You notice in certain areas of a drawing, some areas needs to be dark, some areas needs to be light, some areas needs just a light mid-tone work. That is how you draw. For instance, this area of the drawing needs to be dark. This area needs to be dark. So how I'm going to be doing this for this area, I am going to be putting my strokes closer together. See, closer together. And I can create darker impressions. For areas such as this, which is lighter, which just needs to be kept light, I can just represent with a, like I can just leave a lot of space. I have the liberty. Does that help you, Danny? All right, so that's that. Then this is the first. Now this is the very first principle. All right. So then the second one, which immediately leads me into this. This immediately leads me to the second tip, which is layering. Okay, so when we talk about layering, there is only so much, so far I can go down. So far I can go down. See, I have done this so far. I have made this. Now on a fourth box, I can't practically put my strokes closer together. I can't practically put my strokes closer together. So if I put them any more closer, it wouldn't look much different from this, right? It wouldn't look much different from this. It is under such circumstances where I realize that I can't make it any more darker with this, is when we decide to add another set of strokes over this. This is called layering. Since we cross it, these strokes are called hatches. And since we cross over it, when we do it, it's called cross hatches. So what's cross hatching and layering? See, layering is that you're adding multiple layers of strokes. You're adding multiple layers and sets of strokes over it. Cross hatching, it's because you're crossing over it, it's called cross hatching. That's it. Don't worry too much about the terminology. I'm just introducing you to it. So notice this. I am just adding another set of strokes over this. And notice how effortlessly this is becoming darker. I can apply this anywhere. This will help me create a very uniform texture and a feel around this. A very uniform texture and feel around this. Let me show you the few basic applications of how this could be used. So have this here. Okay, this work is from Neha, right? When to use hatches and when to use cross hatches. We'll certainly get that. We are certainly going to get that. Okay. So here I have this work from Neha.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Oh, welcome. Oh, this is Neha.
Yes.
Notice what's going to happen here. Okay. I'm going to take a so notice this. See, what's happened here is that you put in a lot of strokes here. Good work on it. Yet, based on what we've learned, notice the surface of this, okay? Neha, firstly, notice how this has a flat surface like this. So based on what we've learned, I can just draw like this, see? Then it will look more 3D-ish. For this one, I can just, let me draw the outlines. And I can, if I drew like this now, it will seem like a flat surface at the bottom, doesn't it? Just drawing according to how the form is. Okay. For this one, for this here, I'm better off drawing curved hatches. Why? This is a curved form. See, you're better off doing curved hatches for this. Notice this. For this, see how the form goes. It's like a conical shape. That means this has this roundness that goes this way, right? This shape is like this roundness that goes this way. If I just imagine sliding your fingers over it, you would, or tying a thread around it, you would see that this goes rounded. So how would you show? In places that are lighter, firstly you need to make sure your strokes are curved according to this. See, and in places that are needs to be darker, you can bring them closer. In places that are lighter, you can set them further, and in places where you need hardly anything, you can set them like this. See that? Let me show you another example based off what I have drawn. All right, so this is my compass here, my compass heart. It's still incomplete, but you can notice how I have played around with these strokes, making some areas empty, some areas light, some areas I've pulled them closer, and in some areas I've also cross-hatched. Let me get into cross-hatching part here. This will also answer Ritika's question, when to use what. See, the whole idea behind cross-hatching is when I can't get much darker tones with a single pen, I can cross-hatch over it. That's the first. Or secondly, the whole intention is that, see, when you want to make it darker, when you just want to make it darker, if you put in too many, like too many strokes over it, it will look too crowded. See, I mean, if I just made too much, it will look crowded. Okay. It will look crowded. When I want to tidy it up, instead, the same thing, if I just laid a set and then I added another set over it, it will look more neat, it will look more tidy, it will look more uniform. Overall, this looks more aesthetically pleasing. Yes or no? This hatching could be slightly more diagonal also. You could keep it if you wish to show this thing. So it creates a beautiful network. The same thing here. If I added in another set like this, it will look this way. Now to answer your question, when do I know what to use? Guys, it's all relative. If you really look at it, there is no such rule as such. There is no such rule as such. It says you have to cross hatch, you have to hatch here. Any rule that I'm going to say, I mean, there are no rules here. All I'm just telling you is basic principles I've observed in artists. And there's no principle that I've seen here. What to use where? It is actually, that is actually all relative. I have seen a lot of art where you just make with single lines like this, single hatches like this. I've seen lots of artwork like this. But I've seen a lot of artworks also where it's fully cross-hatched. You might be working with a lighter pen. See, here it's a very dark pen, so it seems, but if I just work with a lighter pen here, I can cross-hatch. Let me show you this. Let me show this here. If I work for this lighter pen, I can cross-hatch and still create a lighter tone. See, I can cross-hatch and still create lighter tone. So there's no rule as such, even for today's drawing that I had done. Let me show you. Yeah. So this is a drawing that I've been working on. It's about collide. You all know the interpretation behind it. Okay, this is the moment when me and Sansari met. So the whole point is I have, for my face here, I just laid in a few hatches. Whereas for here, I've cross hatched. That's because I wanted to bring in a certain, for the hair, if you notice, I've done cross hatching here. That's because I could have done the hair in a fashion where I made it like this. Yeah, you can see this now. Where I draw like this. I could have done in that fashion. There's no problem in this. I can draw it like this. I can draw a hair pattern like this. It's up to me. But it's just that it's the set of strokes that I've decided to work with upfront. Okay, when you start a drawing, you need to decide how much are you comfortable working with. When we put in too much strokes, it can get a little overwhelming. So when you start out, I always say keep it light, don't look too much for cross-hatching. You can add in a few places if necessary. Here I've done a light up and I've done cross-hatching. It's not very easy to bring a certain subtlety into it. Because what happens is when we put in too much strokes, your drawing will start seeming very rough. It's very hard to get that sense of control when you have so much going on. When you have a set of strokes that you hash and then you're processing, it's very hard to get that control over it. And so when you're starting out, keep the process light. Okay. Mostly focus on getting the individual shape correct. Focus on getting the individual shape correct. Trust me, if you can just get this part right, your drawing would look excellent. Just this, if you can get this part right, it will look all tidied up and it is going to look excellent. And if you feel that some areas isn't dark enough, then you can probably consider adding in another set like this. But still be a little careful and make sure. Eventually, it's all about experimentation. You make 2 mistakes, you learn out of it and you make the third one better. It's all about relative, right? I mean, who are we to say whether this looks good or not? It's a subjective experience. What looks very neat to me might not look so to you. It's your subjective experience. See what you like because it's your individual taste. It's your versatility. This is your basic. This is your basic. And then it's all expressions of this. It's all expressions of this. Danny asks, could you maybe show it on a basic? But I think most from basic, how to shade the bird. But with ink, it's not so easy. All right. Show it on a basic. You want me to draw a sphere, right? Let me show you how I will draw a sphere. Okay. So we need to understand that when I draw something here, what's happening right now is that I need to always consider where the light is coming. Okay, the light is very important. So considering that this is the region of light, and then I have this lighting falling over this. This much portion is well lit. And this is in shadows. Now, imagine how the shape of this would go. See, remember in your geography class, you drawn the latitude and longitude for a ball. You would draw for a globe. You would have drawn like this. Do you remember? That is what we need to do for this, for a sphere. See, before I start, notice how I am always starting with a pencil. Even now I do that. Even now for my Inktober drawings, I first lay down a foundation with pencil and then I do it with pen. The main advantage of this is that you can help define the form better. See, if I just drew like this, it will all appear flat. A ball, if I just drew like this, like how most people first do, you can still get it, but it will seem flat. Notice how for this one, just with this one single change in approach where I start by laying these strokes here. See, notice the gradual change, the gradual shift. It requires a little practice to really get this. The basic principle is very simple. To get this gradual shift going isn't easy. So for this one, I can, like bring this very closer. I can bring this very closer. If I want to get it darker, if I want to get it, and then for this one, I'm just laying a few strokes because I want to get this lighter. I'm just spacing it more. Since I want to get this darker, I'm bringing them closer. See, notice how I am able to get an effect of light and dark into this. I think that this could be done better because, like I want to create a much shadow effect here. There, I can cross hatch. See, I had the option of either drawing more strokes there, or I could have done, added in another set of this. I decided to go this way. It's just my subjective taste, right? You can use bolder pens, you can use this, but these are all just the tools available for you. The tools available for you are these pens, these strokes, these pens of different tip sizes, because a pen with a stroke with 005 is going to be very different from a pen tip that you are going to be drawing with a 03 pen. They are darker strokes. And then you have these strokes which you can place them closer, place them further apart. You can express them in different directions. You can add in multiple layers. You can add in multiple layers with multiple pens here. So these are your basic tools. The rest is how do we bring it on paper? This requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of practice. And in my art bootcamps is what I teach in depth. The things that I have discovered through trying out, try this out, and you get this. And from there, you keep building. Okay. Yes. Now see how to make shadows. Just make them darker. Don't be afraid of using bolder pens here. A lot of you are afraid of using bolder pens. See, it is not necessary that everything you make, you need to put them as these strokes. Okay. There's no rule like that. I can still blacken some of the areas. Let's say, looking for my bold pen here. Yes. See, for this, if I want to make shadows, no, I can draw a uniform stroke. They just ties them together. And then I can just blacken this. It's not a problem as such, but I think this needs to be balanced out with certain strokes, because if you're just doing this, it will look flat. See, you can just make it darker with bolder pen. That's not a problem, because it just creates a nice, beautiful contrast. It's fine. Yet your drawing you can have so much more depth by just bringing in this individual change. Think of all the forms, break it down into its elemental, and then share it. With it. If you see the recording that I've shared on making geometric forms, it's in fact shared in the group. I can share the link again for you if you wish. I've explained all of this in depth. We have had extensive practice sessions where individual geometric forms, cylinder, sphere, this, all of that. It's part of my Harry Potter pass. Okay, that is that. This brings me to the next one. This brings me to the third principle, which I talk about is patterns. Because you might be thinking, every drawing that I place, need it always be this boring strokes? Not necessary. I can pattern it up in different regions. This is how you bring in versatility into your drawing. You can pattern them. Okay. So By patterning, I meant, see, this is my drawing for suit, summarized suit, I mean. If you notice for each of these individual regions here, I have followed a particular pattern. I followed a particular, this called the rhythm. Right, in basic design principles, it's called rhythm. So I have patterned it in multiple. I have patterned this in multiple ways. Notice how here, for this one, I've used a set of strokes, vertical strokes here. Here for this, I've used these curve strokes. For this one, I have had this square check like box here. For each one, what's happening is that I can divide each of these regions into every drawing the region that I have. If I want to bring in versatility, I can think of it as these things, and I can think of them as these individual shapes, and I can create certain patterns for this. These patterns need not always be straight lines. These patterns could be, like, let's say, I'll show you. Let me show you some examples of patterns here. You can have, like probably your patterns could look like this one. Your pattern could look like this one. Like this. Here's a this is a work from Sansari, right? I think it's from Sansari.
No, it's by Janvi, I think.
It's by Janvi. You have done a very similar thing.
Yes.
A very similar thing.
Remember, yes. First tuck, I had done a similar one.
Okay. See, notice for this. I can create these individual patterns for each of this one. Okay. So for this mice here, notice how I'm just creating this freehand pattern like a hair. See? Like I can be a little free with this. See that? For this ears, I can follow a different pattern. I can go with the same method as Janvi had done, no problem. But now what's happening is that I can make out between each of these individual regions. I know that this is hair that we're dealing with, fur. Okay, and see for this one, I can make them as close to real as possible. How do I make it closer to real life? How do I bring in the realism? It's about observation and application. That's it. You observe how fur is. You notice the characteristics of a fur, which is basically that it has a certain randomness to it. You can't predict. See, it would be wrong for me to always draw fur like this. The same thing, if I were drawing as fur, would look something like this. Yes or no? Yes. It's just about observation. So this I could draw like this here. And here for this, I can observe these patterns. I can observe these patterns in this. For here, I can do this. As for the potato, I can probably follow a different pattern.
The cookie jar, those are cookies.
Oh, these are cookies. Okay, even better. See, I can follow a kind of pattern like this. Like, like these could be like little dry fruits, chocolate chips on this. Why not? Right? Why you want to make everything with the strokes? Just have fun creating patterns. Have fun creating patterns. Let me show you another example here. This one. Okay, so here's this beautiful drawing. So the pattern that I'm going to I can follow for this See, notice the background effect. I can create really cool background effects for this by probably just deciding how they need to be and being decisive and like following along. See, I could go, notice how I'm creating a halo-like effect. See, and these are just strokes that are radially going outwards. And because of that, right, now there's a certain order into this. Because it's about ordering each of these different. By order, I don't mean the military person giving an order, shouting out an order kind of that. What I meant is each of these regions here are each of these regions here are unique. This is one region, this is another region, and this is another region. So since drawing is all about visual perception, how I see them and how like how our brain reads them. See, what are we actually doing with drawing? We are creating certain we are creating certain patterns, certain this, which stimulate certain parts of our brain. Like it reminds us of something. It reminds us of something that we can, like we can relate to, we recognize. And we know this is what this stands for. So how can I activate the part that makes it seem like it's a fur here? See, for this one, notice how you would typically think of, like the thing for the bird. I could draw this. See, I could draw patterns like this. This makes it seem like the feathers. I could draw this. See, for this one, notice this. There are no rules which says one has to be drawn this way, other has to be drawn this way. It's about understanding, being able to read patterns. I use certain patterns which I constantly keep repeating, and I teach that as well. But there's no rule that only this has to be used. I mean, it's about creating your language, right? That's the beauty of it. It's about creating, using these, like these are your expressions, and it's about creating your vocabulary and your language and being expressive about it. Like be bold. I mean, at the end of the day, this same form here that I have, the same thing here that I have, if I am more bolder with its expression, like really going bolder with its expression, it will really stand out. Okay, being bolder with its expression. So now I'm telling you, like, not just draw these strokes into these forms, introduce a certain pattern into them. So see, this region could go like this. You see that this region could go this way. Whatever it is, it's about creating a pattern. Let me show you an example. Wait.
Niranjan, it's 5. Maybe we could give them a 5-minute water break.
Sure. This isn't complete yet, but I've introduced several patterns into these several regions here in order to create this effect. Yeah, you guys can have a take. I mean, I'll keep powering on as I take.
And some of you, I would love to hear your experience, your doubts, your problems. Please, while everybody's gathering for water breaks, you can unmute and talk.
Let me also have water.
A very big part of our regular classes and workshops, we ask people to hydrate themselves. We believe that hydration is a huge part of our lifestyle, and we ensure people get regular water breaks. So if you were a part of our class, this would be very normal. Exactly during times, we ask people to come up with their water bottles. Also, a very gentle reminder, we have been putting those YouTube links. Do watch them because they are a comprehensive view of exactly this. So all this that you are learning, Niranjan has put them in those YouTube videos in a more comprehensive manner. Do watch those recordings. They are from our old Harry Potter and Ancient India sessions. We'll be dropping even more videos like them. Keep on watching those videos at your leisure whenever you're free, and you'll see how much as an artist you'll grow, because we noticed that a lot of who are doing very good on the consistency part, but somewhere the technique was a little missing, and that's what we want to teach you, the technique, how these inking part comes to play. I am also launching a short survey. Please answer the survey as you are attending the workshop. I would love to know what it is better that we can do for you. So please drop in your comments. And of course, you all can personally reach out to me and ask your doubts or any suggestions that you might have. Yes, Shireen, we will be sharing the recording. Yes. Okay, some of you are asking me if there is a next workshop coming. So no, this time, this is the last mega workshop that we had, the boot camp that we had for 8 weeks. Today only the graduation ceremony was there. We are no longer going to be continuing with that format for a while at least, but we have a 2-day workshop coming up next week, where in 2 days we will be exploring the depth and breadth of inking, how to understand strokes, light, textures, and complete two drawings. Very cute drawings also we are going to attempt. I'll be dropping in the link in the group soon and you guys can join in. Learning opportunities are a lot. Just ask us what if you want to learn, reach out to us. There are a lot of opportunities we have for you. From all basic, advanced, intermediate. That's lovely, Daniela. We would love to have you. We are going to draw these little koala bears and little pen drawings. You'll love it. Nice. I love to see all of you in the workshop. Check out our Instagram also today, guys. Today we graduated. Today we had a full graduation. Our batch went. It was a very emotional moment for both of us. Whenever we join, whenever we have a workshop course like this, and this is the 9th batch, we become so close with each other over a period of 8 weeks, and it's very difficult to let go. And here also in October, 1 month, I personally feel I know some of you people through your drawings and all, through the banter in the group, or just by looking at your Padlets. I feel like I personally know you, and that's a beautiful feeling that you've given us. So thank you, all of you, for joining in Togo. And now I think we can start drawing again. I know you people are getting anxious and want to learn more tips. Let's start. Danny, you make the group spirit wonderful. You've been so active and you've
absolutely.
Whole fun into this. We love it. Thank you so much for it.
So before we continue more after, tell me if you found these useful, if you found these tips that I've shared so far useful. Respond with SS if you do so, and we can continue. Because unless it is useful, then what is the point? Brilliant. So I want you all to continue making the most out of this, okay? So with this, let's continue. Now, tell me what did I stop with? What is the topic I stopped with? Some comment in. I mean, what is the topic that I had stopped with a while back? Tell me, or what did I stop with a while back? No answers, no clue.
Remember? Okay, you were showing a yes.
Using different kinds of patterns. Exactly, Parama. Brilliant. You see, moving forward from that, see, we make patterns, but is it enough to just make patterns? This is where you bring in a whole lot of depth and realism into your drawing. The patterns that you make, you need to be very conscious of the patterns that you put in, because I am not, although I draw realism, I am not the kind of person that who says that realism is the only way to go. I do realism and I teach realism. I teach my students how to make realistic looking pen illustration drawings, looking from a reference image, a photo, or real life. That is what I do. But I do not say that this is the only way to go. What I'm saying is that you need to be conscious of the pattern that you use. Okay, the word here is to be conscious. It's to be conscious of the patterns that you do. It's not about, what do you say? It's not about the just randomly putting strokes, or even, like trying different patterns, like a lot of, the Zen doodles, mandala artists, they all make patterns here. Don't just randomly put in the patterns just because you think it brings in variety. Understand what is it, what are you trying to relate to with that pattern? Every pattern relates with something. For instance, this pattern that I'm placing here. Okay. Tell me, someone unmute or comment in and tell me, what does this pattern remind you of? Tell me of the objects that you would have seen like this. Leaf? Leaf. Nandini is asking me, is it leaf? Yeah, doesn't it seem so? Yes, what I meant is leaf, wildlife, bush, okay? Or I could make, similarly, I could make a bush like this. I could make leaves and bushes like this. Let me show you a different pattern. Guys, tell me, what does this remind you of? What does this look like? Wood, right? There's a different pattern here. Or I could try what about this? Bamboo, mats, straw mat, bark of a tree. Okay. Let's try something else now. It's a fun game to play. How about this? It doesn't have to be anything specific. What does this remind you of is the question. Stones is kind of like a weird answer. Didn't intend it to be stones here. What I intended, these could be, flower buds, hair, crumble paper. Yeah, fair enough, right? Or I could show, let's say, these could be the braids of a hair, right? Bush, braids of a hair, shell. Oh yeah, talking about shell. See, I can represent the shell like this. Like I had said, observation and interpretation. There are no rules, absolutely no rules which says that this needs to be done this way, that needs to be done this way. It's about observation. What do you observe in the world around you? And then you bring it on paper. This is the basic foundational understanding behind texturing. You see that everything has a certain characteristic patterns. Okay, it could be word, or you could be trying to show bricks here. See, you could be trying to show bricks here, or it could be cobble blocks. Right? It could be these kind of things. Whatever is it. I just want you to be conscious about what is it that you're applying. Consciously apply all of these. And I think that is really, really going to amp up your drawing. Let's have a look at some of your drawings here now. All right, so here's this. See, this one here, okay? This one here, if when I do it, I can, this is the outside of a fruit. I can represent the outside of a fruit in whatsoever ways. See, when I draw like this, I am rather, ever notice the surface of an orange, how it is? It has this undulations, this thing here. This could be a pattern that you're using. Or you could show with dots. See, why not? People ask me, I often get asked, can I use stippling? Sure, why not? See, at the end of the day, this is what inking is about. The basic, when broken down into its fundamentals, strokes is a way of expression. So is stippling, so are dots. You could use commas, or imagine I drew this in this way. What does this remind you of now? Any answers? Any answers? What does this remind you of? Coconut, right? Coconut. Okay. This could go this way. Or I could represent, like You look into what you want to draw. Okay, so let me show you this. Let me show you another example here. I could draw same thing following a pattern. Sorry guys, there was a call that had come. So right, this one, what does this look like to you? If you guys don't tell me it looks like an apple, I'm going to be a hard book. And yes, apple. You see, that's all that there is to it. Okay. Chico, oh, perfect, no problem. So that's all that there is to it. It's about what you wish to represent. I mean, the best way to learn is actually having objects in front of you and then representing them, trying, learning, trying all of these new stuff and understand what is it that you want to
Then
create.
show them your Caravaggio basket. Show them the pic prompt and your basket and the.
Yes, my Caravaggio. Yeah, this is a combination of fruits here. So these are the qualities. You can see a mix mash of so many textures in this. So many patterns.
Which one would you pick, guys? Would you pick patience, love, or art? Comment. Which one would you pick of all these three?
Would you rather have a lot of patience? Would you have the gift of creating art? Or would you have the ability to love? Have lots of tremendous amount of love and receive love?
Just
everyone wants
art class,
everyone wants art. Brilliant, brilliant. This is what social is all about. It's about patience, trusting the process, and the love for art and creativity. Amazing, amazing. So many people want art, 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 art.
And that's the right answer, because art will get you patience and love. At least that's what happened to both of us. We both learned how to be more patient through art. We both met in a workshop like this. So just embrace art and all these things will eventually, yes, Poroma, correct. You will embrace art into your life and you will see patience, love, everything will follow. In our last batch, one of the best things that everybody we taught is to be kind, to be yourself. And that is what our entire concept on it. I'll take just 2 minutes now and I'll talk about the next course also, because it's a very right opportunity to talk. We are starting something like a 3-day workshop from now onwards, where we will exactly be telling you about this itself. We will be talking to you about how you can embrace art, how you can embrace, it's not just going to be an art workshop. Let's see what it is going to be about. So how long do you think it will take for you to learn how to draw like this? Is it a year? Is it 6 months, 1 month? Or what if I tell you it's only 3 days?
Hey guys, so my name is Sajid.
And my name is Sanchari. Together we are
Soulflow. Alright guys, so trust me, it took me thousands of hours to learn how to understand the techniques, master them, break it down, and bring it in front of you. But I can make you draw them in just a couple of hours. Trust me when I say this, after having trained over thousands of students in 10 plus super successful art boot camps, we are here with our latest offering, where we teach you how to make such drawings in, guess, just 3 days.
Shh, don't tell this to anyone, but we lied. This is not an art workshop. This is so much more. This is going to be the place where you unlock a new hobby, you unlock a new lifestyle, and you learn how to de-stress yourself after a long working day like today. So hop onto this, and all this entire thing we are offering to you at the cost of just one coffee. 299 rupees, 3 days, and a new skill. Worth it, right? So check out this bright little button right below us, which is bubbling for you to click on it and get enrolled in us. See you there. So
yeah, you're telling sincerely.
Yeah. So I would love to have you all as a part of it, where we'll be doing a lot of drawings. We'll be learning all this in more depth and more advanced, and you'll just be a better artist after that. So will I be seeing some of you in this workshop? Yes.
And more importantly, do you believe that you can now make fantastical drawings in just, couple of hours when you learn with me?
Maybe
it's all simple. It's in fact very, very
Forma, you're already a very artist. You'll be
after Inktober. Absolutely. Stay updated as we will tell you when exactly we are going to be having the workshop, the date, the timings, all details to be shared soon. Join in, is going to be lovely.
Thank you so much. And of course, all of you, I will request you all to see our IGTVs as well as our YouTube videos. Whenever you feel like you have a little bit of time and you want to learn art, don't let the lack of content keep you away from it. We have a lot of content available on the internet. If you are not able to find something, or there's something particular you want to practice, for example, you want to do textures, go to our page. You will see we have done texture tutorials for rodents, for squirrels, etc. If you want to do a particular theme you want to learn, go to our YouTube channel and see. There's something for everyone. All right. Continue. Now you can tell them. And in fact, Niranjan, why don't you show us a flip through of your book before we proceed? Why don't we see, you have been showing us all our prompts. Show us your prompts from the beginning.
My prompts, huh? Sure. After I complete, I will do a flip through. Okay.
So stay till the end.
For all those who want, I can do a flip through of even some of my older books.
Do stay, guys. This is very exciting. Do stay for the flip through.
Okay. See, notice the mix mash of how many different textures can you notice in this? How many different patterns can you notice in this? So, for instance, I love this fruit basket for so many, like I can put all of them in different boats. For instance, see, this could be my pattern that I'm following for the threading of the basket. This could be the pattern I'm following. Okay, I could go like this for the threading of the basket. Just continue, observe how they come, and then you can continue creating the threading. As for the leaf, I could draw. I have drawn it like this. See, try them out. See this? Just push your pen and release the pressure. Notice how the veins of them would go. Like that, you just draw. For a leaf, if I drew like this, it wouldn't make sense, right? I can't say if this is a leaf or something, but this looks like a leaf. If I make this more like this, then this becomes a feather, right? And a slight difference in texture, and I create a feather. As for the hands here, you notice how I've gone for a much cleaner look. I don't have to put in a lot of effort in drawing the hands. I mean, just a few quick strokes. Go back to the first principle that I talked about, drawing them as individual strokes and cleaning them up and drawing them. Right. And all of this leads me to the last and final tip, which is, can anyone tell me what's going to be the last and final tip? It's in fact the most obvious of everything. Yet most of us tend to miss it. The last and the final tip of this. Go ahead, guys. Want to hear from you. Any answers, any guesses? Don't worry. I mean, if you're thinking it's wrong or right, I would love to hear from you. No answers? No answers? None? Nothing? Draw, define, rounding. You're all going to technical. Going to technical.
Sign. Signature.
Oh, that's very important. Okay, that's very important. Adding
And
a
that's
signature,
another
take
thing
ownership
the-
of your drawings.
All
No
of
matter,
it, and you're
right? Whatever is it that you're drawing, if it's a simple mountain with sunset views, just take ownership. It's your work. It's your drawing. Take ownership. Okay? You're going to take ownership. You're all going to promise me that you're going to put in share this. That's not the tip, but it's very important. 3, keeping it neat. No matter how much we draw, how much we put in, if we just draw all over the place, it will all fall flat. At the end of the day, it is about tidying up the drawing, keeping it neat. If I added in, if I wanted to create a fur ball, for instance, okay, so I was explaining the fruit basket here. Imagine if I put all kinds of, see, there is a lot of space here in between this, which makes these stand out. Or for this, or for the hands here. It's not what you say, filled up. Certain areas are, certain are not. It's about understanding where to increase and where to decrease. Let me show you an example here. So, yeah. So let's reattempt this again. Okay, let's have a second attempt. What can we do? It's cool if you add in the strokes, it's cool if you add in the text, it's cool if you bring in the light, shade, everything. At the end of the day, if there isn't any little bit of breather space, see, negative spaces acts as breathers. Every drawing, it can have positive spaces, which are the strokes and the basic elements that you have, and the negative elements. As in negative elements, as in the spaces, the emptiness between the things. You hear the notes of the music because of the emptiness between the notes. The silence is between, if otherwise it just becomes noise. You see the strokes between the gap between the lines. You can hear my words because of the silence between my sounds. If there was no silence, if there was no spacing between my words, you would not have been able to perceive it. Similarly, for a drawing, it is very important to know where to put in the negative spaces and be patient enough to not go overboard with your drawings. Let's try a little bit of this, okay? So this same region, I could perhaps had I put in a few quick strokes here, just leaving negative spaces. The same drawing. It's already a very good drawing. This could have been so much more neater. Let's think about this. That's it. You don't have to go overboard. It's fine if I just left this negative. I don't have to draw everywhere. Or regarding these legs here, I can place these. I can even add in a second layer if I want to, rightly along this ends here. But it's even better if I just left these negative. See, that just makes this even the most standout. You can apply the same for the hands, for the legs, or I can just completely leave it blank. It's fine. See, this is fine. Even this is fine. You don't have to draw a lot. Just a few quick strokes. If correctly placed, if you can just follow along the first step that I said, making it go along the direction, that's a game changer. You don't have to go overboard with everything. It's in fact very simple to draw. It's just the stuff we say in our mind that makes this complicated. Learn to know when to add in the shadows, learn to know when to, where to put in the strokes, learn to know when to leave it, when to not do anything. And as a result, you have all of this. Let's try another example in the similar fashion. Okay. Here in this, the same pattern I wanted to create, I can kind of, maintain more neatness, and just by putting in a few lesser strokes, I can better get the texture. Leaving negative spaces, keeping your drawings clean, tidying it up will only make whatever you draw stand out. Get it? Yes, absolutely. We can all have more and more of patience. With this, I rest my case, and that's the end of the today's workshop. I really hope you found it useful and enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed taking it. You may ask your questions, and yes, of course, I mean, if you wish to look at if you want me to do the sketchbook flip through, that's also there. But before that, I would love to hear more from you. Your questions, your opinions, anything. Go ahead.
I have a question. Can you please flip through your Inktober book and also show them the latest Connect drawing for today's prompt?
So this is I will flip through with the meaning behind the art. The first thing is crystal. The first of the drawing is crystal. Not all of this is complete. So one of the qualities that I value the most is clarity. I don't claim to be the person with the most clarity, but it's something that I constantly work towards, and the quality that I admire in all those who have it. So drawing, inking, and all of this helps me gain clarity. I value clarity in whether in terms of just in basic living, whether in terms of teaching, anything. So clarity and crystal are both associated. That's what this is about. Here's a suit, a samurai suit. I compare a pen illustrator to a samurai because both needs to be very careful. Just imagine a samurai in a war zone. See, he'll get sliced if he isn't careful. So is an artist. Pen being the most unapologetical of medium. If you make one mistake, you're done. There's no correcting. If you make one wrong stroke, it's done. You need to be very, very careful. Right?
And in our case, the pen is actually mightier than the sword.
It is. It really is mightier than sword. They say tongue is mightier than sword, but pen is mightier than sword. Vessel. No deep meaning behind this. Is just an image that I liked and I took it. Little modifications I do. This is a great waves of Kanagawa, a drawing that I admire a lot. So as I flip through, think upon the points that I've shared. Think upon the things that I've shared. What have I used where? You can see that I've used a combination of all of this and most of the times. This is not a heart knot. This doesn't need any further explanations. Love, a heart knot. So you can see the rope texture, the fur texture that we've learned, used well, deployed here. Raven. So this is very special for me because when I took the Harry Potter sorting hat quiz, guess which house I belong to at? Ravenclaw. And can anyone tell me what house Sansari is?
Gryffindor, and I thought you would be Slytherin, to be honest. I was very surprised to find out you're Ravenclaw.
Wisdom and self-awareness. This is what I look for the most. Day 6, spirit. So you can see the spirit. This is all about the spirit of pen. And do you recognize this drawing here? Yes, right? You all do recognize this drawing? Starry, starry nights, paint your palettes blue and gray. Look out on the summer's day, eyes of China blue.
Starry Nights and Wave of Kanakawe both were drawings that we taught in our great art batch.
Great art batch.
We taught people how to fall in love with Van Gogh. We taught, in fact, the batch is affectionately called by us as Vinci's angels, because together collectively we fell in love with Leonardo da Vinci, Wave of Hakusai, Starry Nights, and the next painting itself.
This one.
Can anybody name the painting? What is this?
This one. It's yet another famous drawing. A lot of my this time is based off my theme. See, one of the ways that in order to make sense of the Inktober prompts, how to get ideas is I followed a certain theme. The themes that I followed were soul flow, the origins, the journey of soul flow, inking. A lot of the drawings will be talking about pen, spirit of pen, power of ink, all of that. And then some of the greatest artworks of the world. This is what I followed. You will also see a little bit of Harry Potter. So this drawing is called Scream. It's from this artist called Edward Munch, this impressionist artist, Edward Munch. And I've just directly taken it up. You can see the violent play of strokes. See, in this one as well, I have intentionally kept my strokes a little less neat, more stronger, violent in order to create a sense of disorientation in this. And of course, you've seen this pick. Which quality would you pick? But hey, let's see this. This is my favorite of all Inktober drawings. My biggest fan. Holding hand, she's holding a fan. My biggest fan is holding a fan. You recognize her, right? Why don't you turn on your video In case no one, in case no one knows it. Do you have a Japanese fan?
I like today's drawing more though.
What? Time turner from Harry Potter. There's no grand explanation. Some of them are very literal. I think it's important to keep a balance in order to stay consistent because you go everything over the top. These are some other for which I just laid the pencil sketch. This is, I had in fact made for helmet, Frida Kahlo's helmet, which of course I could not complete unfortunately, but I intend to complete it very soon. Frida Kahlo's flower helmet for SOR, orange, very simple. You can see the play of texture on this. You can see the water droplet, the leaf. This is for, what is this for? This is for stuck. This is for stuck. A person who's stuck, literally stuck. Roof, a Japanese roof. It's again, I've done only one little small thing here, but I made it as detailed as possible in this thing. And being a small book, a lot of my drawings that in the sun I made, it's a very small book. See this. Notice the relative size. It's only the size of my palm. It's an A6 size book. So this book was gifted to me by Sansari, and she told me especially to fill it up with, fill it up with some of the best drawings. So I decided to use it for my Inktober. Filling it up with horse hands. This one is for tick. Of course, you can't see a tick mark here, but what I intended is a journal with a tick mark. I put in so much effort into drawing the background. I could not do the, this one here, the main tick here, but a journal with a tick. I enjoy doing the background but you can see, do you see the pattern here? This one here, how we've learned, it's applied a compass. This I think is pretty much my best in terms of interpretation. It's literally a moral compass, the heart as a compass. You can lead your life with your heart. Let your heart be the guide. And it's just leading with the heart that made me an artist. And that is what is making me share so much with you. And yes, this is, any guess? Collide. When our worlds collided with two Zoom screens, 2,700 kilometers away, Delhi, Kochi. Yes, that's it. And more drawings will be coming soon.
And thanks to all of you that we were able to be consistent. You people were consistent, which is why it inspired us to turn up every day on Insta Live and do them. So now there are like we are halfway through. We are not giving up. I want all of you to attend our Insta Lives and to draw with us and share your drawings every day. All right.
Okay.
We want to do this together, right?
We're in this together.
Okay. So any questions if you have, we will be taking them, else we can say goodbye. Does anybody want to show their flip through so far? We would love to see it.
Yes, I know.
Paroma, you want to show us your flip throughs? Quack, maybe you want to show your flip through?
Funeral dress. You're all welcome.
Oh, Pranav
wants to. Let's go. Actually, don't have them ready at hand right now. It's okay. With what you have, you can share.
Sure. Be proud of your work. Make as many videos as you can, as many videos, show off, spam your friends. It's a big thing you are doing. 31 days of consistent drawing. Show it off. Ritika, would you want to show? I think Ritika left. So Deepti, Nandini, anybody wants to show their flip through? We'd love to. I'll show my flip through till then.
Sansari's flip through is actually
Hey, hi.
separate canvases.
Pranav is ready. Yes, Pranav, show us.
Wait. Hey, turn on your video so
Yeah.
I can put you on spotlight.
This was Crystal. Can you see this was Crystal? This is Suit. This is Vessel.
A lot of our drawings are also.
This is Ravenclaw Raven. I did the Spirit. Fan. My fan was in. Pranav, if you're trying to talk, your voice is connected.
Cracking. Your voice is cracking.
This is Watch. This is from the famous Squid Game. Pranav, we can't hear you. I think you should connect the audio again. It's cracking. Watch. This is Pick. This is one of those Hogwarts owls picking. This is Pressure. Dream. This is Sar. This is Stuck. The fox is stuck. This is Roof. It's the Up Disney Roof. And I have done a few more. So I also decided to go with a small notebook only. This is Stuck. This is my Stuck. You are asking? No, this is my Stuck. This is another Spirit. This is my favorite drawing of all that I do.
Spirit, oh yes.
Again, another Stuck.
Another Stuck. Lovely.
This time. There's this one Collide. Looks familiar, I hope. This is Helmet. So it's similar to the Frida Kahlo helmet he's been making. This is for Fuzzy. Fuzzy is yet to come, but I finished it. I couldn't resist. So I attended his texture class and I couldn't resist not drawing the koala bear. And then there are a lot of other pattern drawings. No issues, Pranav. I entertained them while you were coming. You can join. Thank you so much, Parama. I told you, and a lot of inspiration came from you. I saw your watch yesterday. I have been looking at your drawing. So beautiful. Your fan was incredible. That Bengali traditional fan that you did, beautiful. Pranav, are you ready? Can we?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wait.
Okay. Can you see them?
Oh, lovely, man. Sansari, are you taking
This is-
screenshots of all of this?
I am recording it. Wait.
Okay.
This is for Suit. And this is this one for Crystal.
Amazing.
So neat.
And this one is for Vessel.
So neat and so good.
This one is for Not. one is for Raven.
Oh, brilliant. Wow.
Thank you. This one is for Spirit.
Such beautifully done texture. Wow.
Did you have you learned it from elsewhere before?
No.
This is
Actually, I took some reference from Pinterest and did this one.
Superb, man. Superb.
And this one I
Technically,
got
it's drawn
inspiration.
very well. Great.
Fan. This one
Very
is
good,
for
no?
Watch. This one is for Pressure.
So cute.
Superb. I remember this.
This one is for Pressure. Pick.
He's been staying very consistent, no?
Yes. And each one of them is unique. Some of them are
Yes.
literal, some of them are creative.
Creative. So
Beautiful done, stippling done so well, all textures.
since Pranav had done so much artworks, I had so much artworks to review. Stuck.
Thank you. This one is for stuck.
Brilliant. Brilliantly.
This one is for roof.
Oh, it's a lovely. It's a book that he's using as a roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very innovative. This is the most innovative prompt I've seen. Oh, nice.
I thought of putting rain in this, but it was time, so I uploaded without. This one is for tick.
Oh, both ticks, clock tick and a literal tick.
Yeah.
Lovely,
good.
lovely. Pranav, I genuinely think you should be taking more of. Oh, this is the helmet Niranjan discussed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should see. I love your sketching part is impeccable, but I think you should work on the inking bit a little bit.
Sure.
Videos, you'll get it. You'll understood everything. The tough
Sure.
part, sketching. You have conquered that part impeccably. You just need to learn the inking strokes and all. Beautiful work. I mean,
Thank you so much.
Super. Let's all share heart for him. Heart.
Thank you so much.
and I have been noticing, Pranav, you've been using the wrong hashtag Inktober Soulfrony.
Yeah. But after only I get to know that I should put Soulflow Inktober. I first used the Inktober Soulflow.
No issue.
Then you said, okay.
And make nice flip through scrub, Pranav. I've shared a lot of Instagram reel ideas on the group also.
Sure. I will do. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Glad to have you in. Yes. Thank you. Super, man. Super. Love it. Super.
All right then, guys. We'll take your leave. Today we'll be back on Instagram Live again, like every day.
Yes, and before that, I have an interview, a live interview as well, so you guys can join me. I'll be sharing a lot of my journey. So you might be wondering, who am I? How did I get into thinking? How did I learn all of this? How did I get into this whole community building concept? So I'll be talking all out of that and more in today's live interview session, 7:30 p.m. You'll be sharing the link. Since I'll be sharing you the link as it progresses. Looking forward to seeing you all. Take care and bye. It was lovely connecting with you.
Yeah, we are also going. No
Done.
issue.
We are also done. Done. We are also done, Ritika. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.